Hey everybody, it's Friday, May 29th. I'm out here on Allatoona. I thought I'd give you a quick video report that seemed to be the most helpful for folks versus a monthly written report, so I'll give this a try. Just dropped some clients off at the dock, had a family that was out here, and we had a blast catching them on top water. The Spro, Zero Minnow, Berkeley Chapo was the deal. In the morning, when it was still low light conditions, there was bait fish all over the channel. Really, it didn't even seem like there was any rhyme or reason. It was just bait fish at the surface all over. So much, in fact, that as I was driving down the lake, I could see ospreys, like 8 or 10 ospreys, and wherever I saw an osprey, I could find fish blowing up or bait fish below them. So I could actually use the ospreys to help me figure out where to go stop and look. I got out here before the trip started because I know there's a lot of debris in the water, a lot of pine straw, a lot of sticks, some floating logs and things like that. So be careful driving around. It makes it tough to fish certain spots. Some spots are essentially non-fishable unless you're throwing a weedless fluke or something. So I came out to figure out where that was, where were some areas that were a little bit cleaner in terms of no pine straw or debris. And then out of those spots, where would I find some bait or some active fish? So they were schooled up real good first thing in the morning, and around 9:30 it died down a bit. However, we could still go to these long underwater points and offshore spots and still throw the same topwater baits, and we did really, really well. I lost count of how many we caught, but I would estimate somewhere in the 20s for a quick little 3-hour trip is what it was. So we had a blast. Topwater again continues to be good if there's any sort of cloud cover or wind, and then as the day goes on it will die down, but you can stick with those topwater baits and just focus them on underwater points. And 20 to 30 feet, that's kind of the depth zone I'm looking at. I just cover a lot of water. The key really is to hit as many of those points as you can. You'll cycle through 4 or 5 of them, get a bite or two here or there. Maybe you don't get any bites, then all of a sudden you land on one and you'll catch multiple fish in a row on multiple casts. So keep moving. I can't stress that enough, how important it is just to keep moving and do not linger on a spot. And you will eventually run into them. If the sun pops out and the wind really, really dies down, it can be worth going over to a drop shot or a jig or an eco worm, something you can drag on the bottom. If you can find brush off these points, it definitely makes it better. But I'm gonna stick with the moving baits, the Spro Sashimi, Spro Zero Minnow, the Berkeley Chapo, caught a handful today as well. I'm gonna keep those baits in my hand until I absolutely have to stop and fish a worm. You could probably catch them on other baits too. Spy bait this week has put fish in the boat. Okashira jig head has caught fish. The Karashi is still a great option if you want to throw that. And the flutter spoon and deep crankbaits are also good options. But the biggest thing is just keep moving. Fish these points, look for that right depth zone, and hit as many spots as you can in a day, and eventually you'll run into them. So that's the report for the moment. I mean, right now I'm driving around, and it is, well, my Solix has just went through an update, and I guess I don't have the water temperature, so I don't even know what the water temperature is right now. But it's basically summer conditions, and I'll fish this way probably through September. So if you got any questions or want to book a trip, let me know. Reach out on Facebook Messenger. You can text me, call me, 770-883-0017. You can send me an email, jason@thefishschool.com. You can check out my trip offerings and prices at thefishschool.com. It's been a blast out here lately with the cloud cover and rain. I know it's kind of put a damper on things for some folks at home, but it has not put a damper on things out on the water. It's been fantastic. Boat traffic has been minimal, even through Memorial Day weekend. If you get rained on every now and then, not a big deal when I look around and there's just nobody out here. It's awesome. Not going to complain. So anyway, appreciate it. Stay tuned.